everyone, thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop. I hope you are all having a wonderful day. So today we're going to be talking about Rust in the Ruin. Not Rust in the Ruin. I wonder if I can say that. Rust in the Roots by Justina Ireland. I'm mixing up books at this point. Honestly, I have to say this was such a fantastic book. I loved the way that Ireland is able to create an alternate history. It feels so authentic. You know, it doesn't feel like it is fiction. Her writing style, the way she uses archival footage and actual history to just make this new story, it feels real. You know, it doesn't feel like a piece of fiction. You know, I'm reading it and I'm just like, I'm enraptured when I was reading this book. It was, I had to keep reminding myself that history didn't happen this way, that we don't have magic like this in our world. And I think I think that's what I took away from it the most, you know, that world building, the way that she wrapped real history inside this fantastical way and was able to make it so realistic. And I was captivated by that. I was enraptured. And it deals with history and it deals with racism and it does deal with, you know, the KKK. And, oh God, it was so powerful. It was such a powerful story. It follows Laura and I didn't write it down in my notes here, what kind of magic she had. I wish I had. But it's just, there's floromancy, and then, but that's not her. And then crystals, well, geomancy, I want to say. Necromancy, mechomancy, which is mechanics. And that one's, I wanted a little bit more clarification regarding that one because the way all the other magics worked, you know, the way all the other magics, you know, being able to talk to animals, being able to imbue crystals, and being able to accelerate the growth of like an acorn, for example, which does happen, those things made sense, right? Even the necromancy, you know, that made sense. It was the mechomancy, which was I guess you can kind of say it's like alchemy, combining science with magic. That was the only place that I was a little bit of a hiccup. Luckily, I mean, Ireland does have there is a chapter where it does break down, because the story is broken up by pretty much the events of the story have already happened, and now there's an investigation going on. So the story is broken up by 2-page chapters of 1 to 2-page chapters inserts of investigating the events that happened in this book, right? And in one of those, it breaks down the magic systems, you know, the different types of magic. And I kept referring to that because I thought that was really interesting. It's like something, if I used tabs when I'm reading books, I would have used a tab there, but I just memorized the page number, so I just kept going back to it. And I kept going back to it a lot just for it was the mechomancy. Yeah, the mechomancy. I was really confused by that type of magic. I mean, the best way I could wrap my head around it was kind of like alchemy, you know, science mixed with magic. But it was just, there was something off about it. It didn't quite fit, which I think is part of the problem in the story, you know. And so it makes sense to the story, was what I'm trying to say. It makes sense to the story because it's not a natural form of magic. It's a created form of magic. So it's a little corrupt in a way, the way kind of alchemy can sometimes get corrupted. So I liked it, but I was confused by it, and I wanted a little bit more clarification about how it came to be, really. But, you know, overall, I loved Laura. I think Laura was just a fantastic character. She just does not bite her tongue, and she is headstrong, and she pays attention. She very much pays attention to the things going on around her so that she can see and analyze and figure out what's going on. She doesn't let things like being a part of the system. She's just like, look, you guys drink the corporate Kool-Aid. I'm not going to drink the corporate Kool-Aid. I'm going to tell you how it is. Like, stop being blind. See the situation for how it is. And she does. And if it weren't for her, everyone would have pretty much died. Let's face it. She's one of the new foxes, which is really cool. And I don't really want to spoil that part for you. I loved her storytelling, honestly. I think that was the best part for me. The storytelling, this version of alternate history with magic, and how authentic it felt. I mean, everything else, the characterization was phenomenal. The pacing, I could not put this book down. Whew! Pacing, that rising tension, the mystery, the eeriness that's going on in, the eeriness that's going on in this story. There's something unsettling happening in the plot, and you're just like eager to figure it out. And it just moves. It is a non-stop book. It non-stop. And when you add to that really good characterization and really good character dynamics and a different or more unbiased view of history, it's just powerful storytelling. It makes it feel real. It makes it feel authentic. And that's really what I took away from it the most. That authentic feel to it. And honestly, it makes me just want to read her other books like Dread Nation. I've been wanting to read that book forever. I got this book as an ARC from a publisher, which is why I read it first. But I'm like, oh my god, now I need to go read her other stuff. I love when an author is so good at writing that they make me want to go buy all their other books and read them, because her storytelling, her writing style, the way she just reinvents history and gives it this really authentic, genuine feel is very powerful and compelling. And oh my god, it was such a good book. I'd give it 4 stars. 4.5 stars. 4.5, not 5, only because the Mechomancy was unclear for me. But overall, phenomenal book. Highly recommend it. And if you loved Dread Nation, go ahead and read this book, because considering that was her debut, I'm sure her writing style only improved. And damn, this was a good book. So in any case, thank you all for tuning into this review of Rust in the Roots. Before I mess up that title one more time. Thank you all for tuning into this review of Rust in the Roots by Justina Ireland. Highly recommend it. Check it out. I can't stress that enough. I will include links in the description on where you can purchase the book if you so desire. On that note, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with all your book loving friends, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, happy reading.